Hello, and thanks for joining me for NCIA's weekly episode of NCIA Today. I'm your host, Bethany Moore, NCIA's Deputy Director of Communications, checking in with you every Friday with updates on what's happening in the cannabis industry and here at NCIA. First of all, we're happy to be welcoming new Evergreen level member companies to our ranks almost every week, as NCIA has recently retooled our membership packages in order to meet the needs of our growing association and industry. We've added or expanded some important member benefits, ranging from networking opportunities to education and business data to policy leadership. So go take a look at thecannabisindustry.org/join and learn more about our new membership packages, Evergreen, Blooming, and Seedling. Be sure to check out our website with educational blogs from your fellow NCIA members, like this week's article from Kaya Push about ways dispensary operators can stay compliant with the law and avoiding fines and lawsuits, which nobody needs. In the meantime, let's check in with our Deputy Director of Government Relations, Michelle Rutter-Freeberg, to hear more about what's happening in cannabis policy reform. Hi, Michelle. How's it going?
Hey, Bethany, it's going great. Just looking forward to the long weekend.
Oh, you betcha. Yeah, we're going to fire up the grill here and grill all the meats, I think. So very much looking forward to it.
Yep, same here, same here. Any excuse for a long weekend and a little barbecue is good with me.
You got it. Yeah. So in the meantime, there was some news this week that we wanted to cover quickly before our weekend break. A different branch of government weighed in on cannabis recently. Tell me what happened with the Supreme Court and what we think of that.
Yeah, no, super interesting. It's become pretty common to hear about cannabis talked about in Congress. It's becoming more common to hear from it, from the pulpit at the White House. But it's pretty rare that the Supreme Court, or I might say SCOTUS, that's just an acronym for the Supreme Court of the United States. It's pretty rare that SCOTUS takes up this topic or really speaks out on it in general. And so this week, though, that was turned on its head a little bit when the court actually declined to weigh in on a 280E case. And so this case was brought forward by a company in Colorado. And they brought this up towards the end of 2020. It was actually an appeals case, and it was a medical cannabis dispensary. And they were asking the Supreme Court to review a lower court decision that allowed the IRS to obtain business records in order to apply 280E to them. And I do want to give a quick shout out. A member of NCIA, Jim Thorburn of the Thorburn Law Group, was actually the counsel on record for this. So just want to make sure we give credit where credit is due. Not every day you have one of your members, listed at the Supreme Court. But getting back to it, they brought this appeal to the Supreme Court. And again, they actually declined to weigh in on the case. But while they declined to weigh in, conservative Justice Thomas actually took issue kind of with the whole underlying state-federal discrepancy that we're all so used to in the cannabis space. And he issued a scathing statement. And it was incredibly, incredibly interesting, really just kind of underscoring again, what is the federal government's role here if states are going to continue to be the laboratories of democracy. He talks a lot about a 2005 Supreme Court case some people may have heard of. And if you've been around a long time, maybe you even remember it. It was Gonzalez v. Raich. And so that was looking at interstate commerce and California and what authority the state had there. So no need to relitigate that. But again, this statement was super, super interesting. I wrote a piece on our website for it. I would encourage people to, of course, read that. But in there, we do have a link to the statement. It's only about 5 pages, but man, is it packed full of some big revelations. But what I think is important to remember, though, as we wrap up talking about this is just, this doesn't indicate any policy change. This doesn't change anything in terms of the federal legality of cannabis. There is not. Again, they declined to take up this 280E case, so they're not going to be really discussing it any further. But again, it's not every day that a Supreme Court justice weighs in on cannabis policy. And so it was really, really interesting to get some insight into how he's looking at this.
Yeah, definitely, pulling back the curtains of what's happening, at least, what their thinking is. But you're right, it doesn't mean anything. It wasn't a ruling, but pretty interesting as we're the United States is now caught between Canada and Mexico's making some moves. So it's really interesting to hear what some of that thinking is up there in SCOTUS. So thanks for keeping an eye on that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we'll keep you all up to date if there's any new developments or should that change. But for now, just stay tuned.
You got it. Well, have a great weekend. I hope you grill lots of things and have a great time and maybe see some fireworks.
Yes, absolutely. You too. Enjoy the long weekend. Best wishes. Everybody be safe.
Awesome. See you next time. Okay, so as you heard, it's a holiday weekend, so let's get right to our announcements and reminders. If you haven't had the chance yet, be sure to download our newest policy paper titled The Medicine of Cannabis, an overview for medical professionals and policymakers at thecannabisindustry.org/reports. If you're a member of NCIA and you'd like to learn more about submitting educational blogs for our readers or being a guest on our weekly podcast, please send me an email at bethany@thecannabisindustry.org to get the ball rolling. Remember to subscribe and tune in to both of our weekly podcasts, including our newest effort called NCIA's Cannabis Minority Report. Check out the episodes on NCIA's website with host Khadijah Adams. You can also catch it live on NCIA's Facebook page every Monday morning at 1 p.m. Eastern. And be sure to subscribe to NCIA's Cannabis Industry Voice weekly podcast, which has been in the top 50 U.S. business news category on Apple Podcasts since early 2020. If you're not tuning in every week, now's a good time to get caught up. And tickets are now on sale for the Midwest Cannabis Business Conference on September 22nd and 23rd in Detroit. Current NCIA members receive discounted or even sometimes free tickets to our trade shows thanks to our retooled membership levels and benefits I mentioned earlier. So head to www.midwestcannabisbusinessconference.com today. You can also stay connected and inspired this summer with NCIA's weekly webinar series, which keeps you up to date on best practices and regulatory issues. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to stay inspired and connected. If you're a member of NCIA, log into NCIA Connect and spark up a conversation with your fellow NCIA members and colleagues today. We'll see you next week.
Hi, my name is Monica Gray.
Kimberly Cargile.
My name is Sharon Data G.
Even though I've been a member of the National Cannabis Industry Association for the last decade, this year I moved up my support and my membership to the Evergreen tier.
With the help of NCIA and being an Evergreen member, we believe that we could push this agenda forward.
Banking's always been my number one issue. Payment processing has always been a huge issue, cash payments. But now that the cell phone companies are getting involved,
we need to make sure that we get minorities and African Americans, people that have been affected by the war on drugs, indigenous people, brown and black people holistically needs to be a part of this conversation.
It is so amazing to have a group like NCIA that has my back. Let's get you in front of these senators that don't know what it's like.
And as the best of the best, and we want to make sure we have a voice as cannabis legalization is moving forward.
Government relations and advocacy directly affect the bottom line.
Really getting to the table as a small business member to making sure that the small business member, small business owner gets a voice at this policy table.
Part ensuring a smooth transition into federal legalization and regulation for our legacy industry here in California.
Realizing that no one's going to fight for you like you can fight for yourself, I decided to take NCIA's support in joining this tier of focusing on policy.
We need to come together and push for this agenda.
It is critical that our industry steps up and engages.
We need to make sure that our voices are heard.
We have the support of NCIA by joining the Evergreen tier as our lobbying firm for us, the little people.
Cannabis business owners, entrepreneurs that really see the bigger picture to say, let's push this agenda forward. We can't do this without you.
It is so difficult to run a business and be a small business owner in this space, in this cannabis space.
I encourage you to join me and become an Evergreen member today.
We need your help.
Join the Evergreen tier and fight